Alright, let's see what training with A Money's like. A Money always insists that you never go easy on her, so this time you don't. Oh shit. You go after her with everything you've got. Oh, fuck. -4 to the last card, hurting a friend. By the time she finally taps out, you're both breathing hard. You let her up and she touches her fingertips to her eyebrow, startling when it comes back red. Whoa, you really kicked my ass. You spot A Money halfway up the garrison. Well, you got what you wanted. Kicking her ass. Yeah, I am so glad. Halfway up the garrison watchtower, her legs wrapped around the scaffolding as she cranes to look over the fence through a pair of holoculars. You clear your throat and she peers down at you and waves. Solana, come up here. I want to ask you something. You clamber easily up the scaffolding. A Money gives you a high five. Here, look through these. A Money says, shoving the holoculars in your hands. You raise them to your eyes and you look where she's pointing. A long ways out, much farther than the expeditions are going, you spot a dark humanoid shape moving through the towering fungal forest. See him? A Money asks. It's Dis. I swear it is. He's always sneaking out over the walls. So what? A Money stares at you. So what? She repeats aghast. He's gonna get in trouble. Only if you tell on him. Well, yeah, A Money sputters, but someone should. What? The adults say we're not supposed to go outside the colony unless it's on expedition, A Money says, taking the holoculars back and looping them around her neck. And Dis just goes wherever he wants. What if he gets hurt? What if he dies? That's on him. She wrinkles her nose. What if he picks up a weird alien disease and comes back with 3 heads? A Money scratches her cheek. There's acne's made her skin dry and sore looking. Ow, she mutters as bits flake off. I just don't know what to do about it, she says. What do you think? Let's go after him. I don't think that will be good. That will be very confrontational. It'd be fun, but definitely confrontational. And we are an adult. Yeah, that's true. We can do whatever the fuck we want. I think she should stay out of his business. But I think it'll be more fun if I tell her we should go after him. But I'm afraid that that means, like, dragging him back rather than just joining him. I think I'm going to tell her to mind her business, especially because she didn't do shit when Cal was getting his shit rocked. I can't do that, Amity pouts. As the strongest kid in the colony, I ought to protect all the other kids. The colony's got rules for a reason, Amity says, staring off into the wilderness. If we do our own thing and don't care about the rules, we're all going to be toast. Kind of like a sports ball team. We're all doing different stuff, but we got to play by the same rules so we can get as many points as we can. Anemone, Solana, you look down at the ground. There are passing colonists waving at you. You two get down from there, it's not safe. Okay, sorry, I'm on watch, Amoni shouts back, indicating her holoculars. She shoots you a smile. I guess we should get inside the watchtower, huh? You both climb the rest of the way to the guard platform. Amoni heaves herself over the edge and reaches down to help you up, and you notice that her hands are all banged up and scabbing over with blue scales, probably from scampering all over the place the way she does. She notices you looking and laughs awkwardly. She runs her hand through her fluffy hair. Maybe if I get beat up enough, I'll have so many scales it won't hurt no more. Oh, I won't have any more acne, she jokes. What a. Also, her bullshit about protecting people is really fucking rich after she let fucking Vase punch Cal. Like, fuck her. That made me mad. I'm so mad. We shouldn't have done it. Mars is sitting with her head propped up on her hand. I just think I would have made a better governor, she sighs. It totally sucks that I didn't even get a chance, you know? Now some space head with a gun thinks he knows what's best for the colony. She rolls her eyes. Like, okay, he's older, but I've lived here almost half of my entire life. Like, who do we gonna trust here? I mean, I agree with her. I really wanted to get persuasion up higher, but I don't know what will do that. So it's yellow, so I'd assume it would happen here. Yeah. Oh, three persuasion and organizing. Okay, let's try it. Mars called. Oh, God, I forgot about this. Mars calls the SFC to order with a grim expression. I just cannot stand by while Governor Looms ruins everything we've built here, she says, clenching her fist on the table. He might know how to hold a gun, but he doesn't know how to lead a colony. From now on, this club is going to focus on Governor Loom out of power and getting someone competent in. We have from now until Venture and Malia to somehow convince the other council members that he's got to go. I agree, Cal says, and everyone turns to him in surprise. That's not surprising to me. What? He continues defensively. Loom's a jerk. All he cares about is killing animals. It's better than the whole planet that he's gone. Mars steeples her fingers. But the question is, who do we want to replace him? Obviously, I think I'm a great candidate, and I'm willing to discuss either options. You need persuasion 50 and need rebellion 70 or greater. Dang. Well, that's going to be one of my playthroughs, is literally just to become governor. That was what your last playthrough was for? Amazing. These horns are causing me pain. All right, well, I'm going to agree it's Mars because I don't know anyone better. I agree it should be Mars. Cal looks witty. No offense, Mars, but are you really going to stop the soldiers from killing the animals? Look, Cal, Mars says, spreading her hands wide. I don't want hunters going out and not coming back either. Maybe we can find a safer, more efficient way to deal with the animals, yeah? She sounds ominous. Cal doesn't look convinced. Mars gathers everyone close. So the plan is we campaign in all the departments: geophonics, engineering, the garrison, the quarters, explorations, and here in command. Try to soften up all 6 council members and get them on our side. Try to keep this on the down low. Then, at the next Venturmalia festival, we surprise the governor with a spontaneous council vote and replace him. He'll never see it coming. Except he's a warmonger and it's going to be horrible, but sure. Getting Chief Administrator Streak alone is fairly easy. No one wants to spend time around them if they don't have to. You explain that you're intending to hijack the elections at Venturmalia in order to depose Governor Loom. The more you speak, the more it's clear that Seek is already on board. Finally, they say, rubbing their hands together with a look of unbridled glee. I was waiting for someone to realize what an imbecile he is. That man barely knows how to read. It depends, Seek replies. You're not the only person with ideas around here. I was planning on making a go for governor myself. They extend their hand to you, rubbing two fingers together. Unless you can provide sufficient motivation to throw myself behind your cause instead. You're not certain the governor you're not certain wants to be governor is easily bribed is the great combination, but this is what you're working with here. Seek gives you a slimy smile. Will 100 kudos suffice? Absolutely. Seek purrs. You transfer 100 kudos through your holopalm to theirs. Well, Seek asks, for whom do you intend me to cast my vote? It's better to be good. If you don't get a majority support, Loom will come down hard on those of us who show disloyalty. He may be an idiot, but he is an idiot in power. Mars. Seek lip curls. Marzipan? They laugh. Well, I suppose she is rather cunning politician considering her age. Her materialism is a concern. Very well. I will support her when the time comes, though we will have to see what the rest of the council thinks, won't we? That was a waste of kudos, I will tell you guys that. Well, fuck me. The investigation into the bombing during the Glow attack continues all month. Governor Loom and his goons can't find a way to pin it on any of the Stratos, and over time people come to accept that Dis was probably the culprit. The rumor doesn't make anyone feel better, but it does take the heat off of the others, including yourself. As usual for this time of year, your dreams are more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. Huh? How did that hop-eye get into the bedroom? Follow it. You chase it out of your balcony door and find yourself on a thickly wooded path, the mush wood pressing in close on every side. The light is weird here, pink and glittering, casting teal shadows. The hop-eye disappears down a hole in the ground, and without thinking, you dive after it, squeezing your shoulders to fit through. You tumble into a cave, beautiful and surreal, shimmering with light that seems to come from within. You take a step forward, granules of pink sand crunch underfoot. The cave opens into a forest that seems lifted from a fairy tale. Sunlight beams through breaks in the trees, illuminating a path of mushroom-ringed stepping stones that lead you to a small cottage. You spot the hop-eye hurrying farther down the path. Visit the cottage. Dis is here. It's his home, you think. He's hunched over a woodworking bench and looks up as if you called his name. You realize with alarm that he's working on himself, as if he's part tree. He waves at you with a hand that ends in small blossoming branches as, unsettled, you hurry onwards through the door to the rear of the cabin. Too late, you realize. The door opens to empty air and you tumble. You land hard on solid ground, your breath whooshing from you. It's hot here, impossibly hot. The twin suns beating down on you, burning your skin on contact. The air is almost painful to breathe. In all directions, stretching a barren wasteland of dead trees like bones puncturing the dry skin of a planet. You rise from the dusty, cracked earth and begin to walk, stumbling over bones of unknown creatures. You don't know where you're walking, only that the horizon doesn't change. The red sky stretches overhead like a great bowl of heat pressing down on you. A great roar shakes you and you turn to a chimeric nightmare, a manticore, but with Governor Loom's face. He towers over you from the podium, its claws crackling and its tail thrashing as he prophesizes. We primeval forests felling, he chants. We the rivers stemming, piercing deep the mines within. We the surface broad surveying, we the virgin soil upheaving. Overhead the sky streaks with smoke, and you hear a rumbling in the distance. You flee from the scene, feeling the memory of it cling to you as you push and claw your way through to another reality. You stumble towards a dark, glowing forest. Blessedly cool air brushes your cheeks, thick with moisture and making your face wet as if you've been crying. The path wends upwards, flanked by humanoid figures carrying candles. Some are wearing robes, some armor, some lab coats, and envirosuits and formal wear. Some are elderly and some barely 10 years old. All turn to look at you and you realize with a jolt they're you. Every single one of them is you. You see yourself reflected in their eyes as they gaze upon you dispassionately, a line of possibilities stretching out as far as you can see. The hop eye crouches between the ranks and gazes solemnly as you pass. You walk steadily upward, feeling their unflinching gaze follow you. Overhead, the wormhole hangs in the sky like an overripe fruit, bending the heavy branch of space and time towards you. It's so close you feel as if you could touch it. Stretch your hand out, seeking. You wake up. Milky quiet sunlight pours through your window, flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as if you went to sleep. But it's your birthday. You're 19 years old. Only one more year as a teenager. Ah. Well, that was a straight up bummer. One of your first tasks as an administrator is to format the monthly report to Earth. It's full of boring, carefully formulated data. Seek is very specific about it and makes you redo it 3 times until you get it right. You drop off the report at the comms desk and realize you've yet to be told how to process a reply from Earth. You wonder if they reply at all. Ugh, why would I ask Loom? Investigate on your own. You sneakily read through the administrative holonet files you're allowed to access now. There's a huge backlog of messages all dating from during the 20 years that the stratospheric was in space. You scroll through the preview text quickly, not wanting to draw too much attention to yourself. The majority of the messages are updates from the colony's allies in the Vertuna group, but every so often there's a message ordering the ship to cease and return to Earth, putting an end to their illegal immigration and return their stolen property. If the Fortuna group weren't outlaws on Earth before, stealing congruence in the Gentech definitely did the trick. These messages are angry. There are no messages from any time after the stratospheric landed on Fortuna. Maybe nothing could get through the wormhole. Maybe the communication system was damaged, and it wasn't until the heliopods landed that communications could be restored. Or maybe both planets are just shouting into the void. It's impossible to say. Being Loom's assistant isn't as glamorous life of the political intrigue you were hoping for. He's more of a soldier than a politician, and even then, you hear he's not much of a soldier either. If he notices the people mock him, he doesn't seem to care. It almost makes him more boastful. Like, he thinks his sole duty as governor is to soak up as much attention and power and wield it wherever and however he likes. Whenever he's questioned on something, he unleashes a torrent of bravado and barely veiled threats that it's impossible to make out your own point. And then he just pushes through what he wanted to do anyway. It's infuriating. Given that the colony's governance was based around the idea of communication and empathy, no one seems to know how to contain him. As for the Helios, they seem to have their own ways to get around him. They're grateful he's gotten into politics because that means your older and more experienced security chief Rhett makes all of the largest military decisions. In fact, you think some of them enjoy that he's such a moron because they hope the colony fails. They think he's entertaining. That's gross. Mars is responsible for producing his social media content, which he considers an important part of his brand. They mostly consist of powerful sounding but ultimately empty speeches about how great the colony is doing and how proud everyone should be of their really, really, truly great work. Just fantastic, really. Oh my god. Triggering. You and Mars are huddled in command, trying to avoid his attention, while Mars scrolls through Loom's selfie roll, trying to pick the best one for social media. As a political strategy, it's not unheard of, she mutters. Plenty of Earth dictators used it. I just can't tell if it's his official strategy or if he's really just this vain. You hear footsteps approaching, and Mars groans. Looms claps his hand on her shoulder and smiles broadly. There you are! I was thinking of the next video. I think the colony is ready to see some of the footage from the counterattack against the enemy aliens. Oh, stars. You remember this. Loom played the footage of the time he charged into battle and nearly got everyone killed with explosives. You cringe as you remember it wasn't your finest moment either. You can't believe this is the footage he wants to hold up as proof of his bravery and vision. This is great footage, Mars simpers. Just really great. It's actually perfect for Solana to practice working on her video editing skills. You shoot Mars a stinky look, but she just smiles. Loom agrees. It's such great material, he practically did his job for you. How are you going to spin this into a propaganda piece? Tell him how stupid he is. Love to. Or try to make him look bad. You crack your knuckles and settle in to make Loom look worse than a joke. You make him a meme. Mars crackles when she watches the video and hits send. It's perfect, she says. I don't care if he looks bad. Garbage in, garbage out, you know? She sighs wistfully as people start to react to the video. I would give you so much better source material. She's so vain. Ooh, egg. I think maybe we're gonna go hang out with Dis. I don't fucking see him. You meet with Security Chief Rhett, knowing he'll be a tough sell in the whole political coup business. He sits behind his desk, hands clasped, listening intently as you explain. I forgot we were doing that. As you explain how you and Mars plan to depose Loom during the Venturma Festival. When you're done, he shakes his head and sits back. You're not an idiot, Solana. You know what you're asking me to do. Having the garrison on your side would make this a military coup, he tells you. If you've learned Earth history, you know those aren't a good look. Why should I support you? If he supports us, It'll be peaceful because everybody loves him. So, like, I definitely believe it'll be peaceful. It's just Loom that's gonna be the worst. And he's dangerous. I don't know if he'll think that's really naive of me, though. Ugh, I don't know if I believe in Mars that much either, though. Like, Mars is the future. The colony is pretty aggressive. Oh, choices, choices. All right, I'm gonna tell him it'll be peaceful. Will it be? He asks. What if the governor doesn't want to step down? He sighs. You don't know the dynamics at play here, Solana. When the heliopause landed with 7 squads of trained soldiers expecting to fight, we didn't have a choice. It was a diplomatic of Governor Loom to keep the existing council members rather than replace us as loyal Helios, but he could still change his mind. Mars is the future of this colony, Mr. Rhett. Rhett laughs. You're a regular little politician on the campaign trail, aren't you? You've got a lot of guts asking me to remove a professional soldier from leadership during a time of war and replace him with a child. Why the hell wouldn't I go to Governor Loom right now and tell him there's mutiny afoot? I'm really bad at persuasion. We're not gonna do this. Damn. Oh! Okay. We did it. You managed somehow to convince Security Chief Rhett that it is moral imperative that he support your movement to depose Loom. You both know that Loom is dangerously inept, so it's really just a matter of assuring him that you'll do a better job and that you'll protect him from reprisal if you fail. You've won the vote against Oz. I probably should have picked Seek, even though they're slimy. Alright, I guess we gotta go tell our fucking dad now. This is a really bad idea, and I have regrets. But we're in it now. Your dad is sitting on the fence overlooking the animal paddocks. Oh, hey, Sugar Bean, he says, patting the vets next to him. Come take a look at the wild, dangerous aliens. You watch the float cows bob along peacefully. Every so often, one of them releases a jet of fluid and lifts into the air. Your dad laughs every time. Gross, he says. But I guess it's not much more weird than when we used to drink milk from cows and goats. You find some time alone with the chief cultivator to talk about your plan to peacefully depose Loom. You sit down with your dad, who pours you a cup of tea and listens intently as you explain the details of Mars's plan. Depose Loom, get voted in, save the colony and maybe the whole planet. Well, sure, sweet melon, he says when you're done. You know I'll always support you 100%. I never liked that Loom. He acts too quickly, and he's going to get everyone in trouble sooner rather than later. I have not been impressed by him in the council meetings. But I'm not so sure about that Mars girl either, to be honest. Can't trust a woman who doesn't want to get her hands dirty. Not like your mother, let me tell you. He smiles and rolls the mug in his hands. Your mom would be so proud you're doing this. Well, she might have disagreed with you at first to test your dedication. She was stubborn like that. He sighs wistfully. I loved that about her. You spend a nice afternoon with your dad, reminiscing about your mom and splitting a pot of tea. It's nice to be able to connect with him. But you're sure he's got your back. I should have been mayor. Damn it. After work, you ask Chief Engineer Instance for a few minutes of her time. She allows you into her office and begrudgingly listens to explain what you and Mars intend to hijack the elections at the next Venturnalia. When you're finished, she heaves a long-suffering sigh and pinches the bridge of her nose. Why in the world would I support this plan, she says. We're barely surviving it as is. Loom is right. The planet is at war with us. Every year we come closer and closer to total annihilation. Is it really the time for dissent? Instance gestures to her office. Every horizontal surface is covered with experiments. He may not be the most suited for the job, but do you see anyone else with the time on their hands to run a colony? The idiot does the least damage where he is, doing busy work and making stupid motivational videos. The war on nature is bullshit. I agree. Wait, Dis totally disappeared after the explosion? Dang it. That makes me mad. Card becomes yellow. Yikes. Damn it. Instance hasn't survived this long under a hostile regime by being soft. It's hard to convince her that you have a chance to oust Loom, but she does like to win, and she appreciates a good game of 8-dimensional political chess. If you win the election and convince her you will, she'll be free. Well, she says, sitting back in her chair, seems you might actually be cut out to be our next governor. You have my support. She gives you a stern look. When you strike, strike to kill, she says. If Loom knows I'm moving against him, he'll put me on the wall. I kind of want to be governor now that she wants me to, but I don't have a high enough persuasion. Like, Marzipan's gonna fucking murder me. Plus, I don't want to be mayor. I'm okay with Marzipan. Like, Instance stares at you for a long time as if seizing up your mettle. Calculations go on behind her eyes and you barely hope to understand. Good, she says finally. Tell her she can count on me. Nice. Okay. Exploring nearby. You manage to partner yourself with the chief surveyor on your next expedition. It's a perfect chance to talk to her about Governor Loom, but she beats you to it. Whoo, this was easier trekking when we had hover bikes, Utopia says as she hauls herself up a particularly difficult stretch of terrain. She reaches back up to help you. That villain Loom's using them to search for aliens now. Like, that's not finding a needle in a haystack. He sent half of my team out to the swamps now. She gestures to her empty holster, without weapons, I might add. He's bleeding us dry out here. She scrubs the back of her hand across her mouth. That snake of a man thinks every little thing is a war. I don't like getting attacked by animals neither, but I sure miss being able to explore this planet without Loom getting his paws all over my division and taking my resources from this damn messy war. You tell Utopia about Mars's plan to overthrow Loom at the next Venturnalia. She seems excited by the prospect, and you forget how young she is compared to the other council members. Sounds stellar, she says, clasping a hand on your back. The only question is, who you got in mind to replace him? Marzipan. Mars? Utopia drawls. Really? Isn't she a mite? Well, she's young. She crosses her arms and gives it a thought. Well, I was only 22 when I became chief surveyor, I guess. It's not that far-fetched, but why Mars? What's she gonna do different that the chauvinistic float cows ours? Pitch to me. Okay, tell me what will do. Oh god, why would I bring up that he fucking assaulted her in public? You and Utopia set out for a hard day's work surveying. As you work and explain your plan, and how Mars will do everything she can to protect Vertunma when she's governor, Utopia listens patiently to your pitch for her vote, giving you ample opportunity to explain your position. By the time the second sun is beginning to set and it's time to head back to the transport, you've made a solid ally. Utopia slings her arm around your shoulder as you walk. Here's a tip from one young buck to another. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're too young, she says. You've been here on Venturna as long as any of us have. Utopia is working near the gates. The area has been deemed safe for kids to go on a hike as long as you're back before dark and never go out during the glow. There ain't a lot to see out here, she says. A logging camp, a few fields, some nice lookouts. You've been out here before, but this was when you weren't supposed to, so you let her give you advice anyway. Keep your eyes peeled for the useful things. Like here, this mushwood log. Oh, don't worry, Utopia. I know all about mushwood. It's fairly safe out here, but you don't mean totally safe. Don't go too far, and if you see anything that scares you, run back like hell and make a ton of noise. What you hoping to see out there, sweets? Stuff to collect. Utopia laughs. Take nothing but photos, leave nothing but footprints, she teases. Suppose it's different on a brand new planet like this one. We actually do need samples of basically everything, especially stuff that might be edible. She slaps you on the back. Things regrow pretty wild out there. If you've picked a place to clean, give it a year and it'll look like we've never been there at all. That's fucking scary. You carrying 26 log on your back. Sure thing. You hear a sad hiccuping sound and follow it to a sick Hopeye. It's hunched low, its foot completely nestled under its body, and shivering uncontrollably, its enormous eyes roll in confusion and fear. I'm gonna try to take it home with me. I don't want to just make it comfortable so it dies. Gonna heal it. The Hopeye hisses and tries to bite you. It doesn't want to be touched. You throw your jacket over it and carefully pick it up and put it on your back. You crack the zipper a bit to give it fresh air. Your dad helps you make a little nest for it in the empty part of the geophonics barns. Every day you feed it food and water and nurse it back to health. Oh! Cal takes an active interest in its recuperation. Utopia says that Hopeyes don't have a gender, as you're washing out the pen together. Or maybe she said they're both, and they're really social. What are you going to name him? Mrs. Hoppington, Sir Hopsalot, Hoptimus Prime, Hop Solo, or something else. So we have Squish. We're gonna call him Googly. Wait, that's Google. I meant like a googly for his eyes. There we go, googly. Cal offers the Hopeye a piece of bobber fruit. Cute! Googly plucks the fruit from Cal's hand and hops into your lap to snuggle down and nibble on it. Cal snaps a photo with his holopalm and shares it, captioning it Friends for Life. Look at how fucking cute it is. Gain 1 stress and 1 bonus to pairs. 1 less stress. Uh-oh. Governor Loom enters the colony square in his customary bombastic fanfare. I forgot to talk to Antecedent. Ooh, woo! Oops. Banners with the Heliopause logo snapping in the hot dust breeze. It's a bit much. The governor gets his usual tithe of applause from the die-hard soldiers, but it's obvious how tired and fearful everyone has become since the start of this war. You watch Mars's eye and she nods in solidarity. You've planned for this for so long, and now's your chance to strike while everyone is watching. If you get the entire council to speak out against Loom today, maybe the rest of the colony is ready for the change. Anyone is better than Loom, even a teenager. The governor raises his hands for silence, though it's largely unnecessary. Pioneers of Ventunma, he begins, we stand out here today not shivering and quaking in fear, but with our hands around the neck of the planet herself. He makes a ringing gesture. Before he can continue, Mars leaps from her seat and runs up to the front of the stage. A ripple of fear goes through the crowd. You all remember what happened to Utopia last year. It doesn't have to be like this, she cries, speaking to the crowd. We don't have to listen to him. He's just a bully with a gun, like the ones we left behind on Earth. Join Mars on stage. You put yourself between her and Loom's honor guard. She flashes you a giddy, grateful smile and turns back to the crowd. She points to the governor. This man has made you think that the only way to survive is through violence, she says. He's just a soldier and not even a good one. Violence only makes small, weak men feel powerful. She turns to the council. He's not powerful. We're powerful. We broke free of Earth. We broke free of war and bigotry and inequality, and we can break free of him too. Please, she urges, stand with me, reject Loom, and bring the new era, a colony led by someone born among the stars. She holds her hand to her chest. Me. I can lead this colony. So can I. Ooh. What about Administrator Seek instead? Oops. Oh god, this is so dramatic. Okay, I love Mars, and I don't ever want to undermine her. And Seek is slimy as hell. But they are an adult. Oh, I hate this. Oh my god, this is so much pressure. My dad will support me no matter what. I think Utopia will be pissed because she supports our youth. And oh, this wasn't even one of the playthroughs that I was friends with Mars. But I don't like Administrator Seek. Shit. I feel like the two of them are so much alike, too. Like, well, we're here now, aren't we? Fuck, fuck, fuck. I hate this shit. I hate these kinds of choices. I usually save and redo if I hate the result. But we've been pretty solid with this game, just like going forward. Uh, I just don't know if Mars is gonna like be nice to me after, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey, let's stop the war on animals, and she'll be like, why would I do that? Shit, 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 shit. Let your horns give you strong. Yeah, if I was gonna support Governor Seek, I should have done it from the beginning. And I'm not a liar. We've already proven that, and I'm also not very brave. So let's just Governor Mars has the future. Let's do it. The buzz of the crowd is deafening like a swarm of bugs all chirping together. Some of the councilors are nodding, but it isn't unanimous. This is bullshit. Bloom laughs. 2 children saying they can lead the colony. What's the first order of business? Taco Tuesday? Soy sweets for dinner? He waves his hands dismissingly. Have your stupid vote, he sneers. We'll let the council decide. Out of the corner of your eye, you see his guards with their weapons lowered, waiting. Some of them look as interested in the change's leadership as you are. If you have the council behind you, even Loom's supporters in the military could fall in line. You might just win. The council deliberates, and you and Mars clasp hands and await their decision. The council shuffles to the side and deliberates. To your relief, they come to a decision quickly. They must all be unanimous, for the centrists of the colony won't rise against Loom. After a minute, Instance looks up from the crowd and shouts, "Someone get that man off stage." Loom starts to laugh, but stops when he realizes that his own Arnagard is coming up the stage to cart him away. Wait, he says. His arms are held behind his back as he's taken off stage. You can't do this. I'm the governor. I'm the leader of this godforsaken colony. You search the crowd for a hint of dissent. The soldiers are uneasy, but everyone else looks tired but relieved. You can't believe all it took was a few kids to point out the obvious. The council returns to their positions, and Instance remains standing. We've decided to reward these young patriots for their bravery by accepting their bid for leadership, she says to the crowd. On a trial basis, she gives you a meaningful look. We're pleased to recognize our new governor. Instance turns to Mars. Marzipan. Marzipan shrieks and jumps up and down and gives you a big hug. We did it, she squeals. We really did it. Thank you, Solana. Mars releases you and waves at the crowd as they cheer her name. She looks overwhelmed but bursting with happiness. Seek shuffles forward and directs Mars to place her hand on her chest and repeat after them. Mars swears on her honor to act in the best interest of the colony and to uphold the tenets of Vertunma, group peace, understanding, and harmony with the planet and each other, and not just for herself, but for generations to come after. It's official. Loom is old news. You won. The 2 factions of the colony regard each other carefully. On one side, those who went along with Loom out of fear, either of him or of Vertunma, are cautious, unsure of what to do now that their leader's been deposed. On the other, the peaceful faction can't quite believe their nightmare is over. Mars sees this and directs Loom's military band to start playing something festive. I know we've been through a lot, but we've been through worse, she says. Tonight, let us enjoy being together again. Let's eat and dance and celebrate. After the politicking is over, the crowd adjourns and the feast tables eventually end the dance floor. The sun's set on the long day, the heat breaks, and the party continues well into the night. After the festivities, Mars gives everyone 2 whole weeks off for the much-needed rest. She spends the time meeting with every colonist individually. Oh my god. She does a lot of it to endear the people to her who are hesitant about having a teenager as governor. Oh my god, we did it! I can't fucking believe it. Even if it is a trial basis. That's fucking bonkers. You get a summons to report to command to Mars's new office. I have 0 regrets of this choice. You find her reclining in the captain's seat, formerly Governor Loom's chair, idly flipping through the notes of her holopalm. You guys, her costume is literally to die for. Mars waves away the holoscreen and leans back to consider you. Solana, she smiles. Just the rebel I wanted to see. But first, you're not going to lead a mutiny against me, are you? Better stay on your toes. There's the face I'm looking for. Look at her golden bottom lip. I'm dead. Ugh, she's so pretty. I mean, her dads are gorgeous. I don't know why every time she ages up, I'm like, where's my fan? I'm wearing too many layers. She laughs and stands and gives you a hug. I was expecting nothing less from you, darling. They changed her color. She's no longer blue. She turns and looks out the windows overlooking the colony. Actually, I called you here because I haven't had a moment to myself since Venturnalia. We knew Loom was a real piece of work, but every day I seemed to uncover yet another problem he was letting fester. And the department heads, she huffs. Have them treat me like an interim governor, good enough to oust Sloom, but not enough to stick around and do the actual work of governing. They'll come around. You're right, of course, she sighs. I just wish I knew who I could trust. They're so stuck in their old survival mindset, just survive until the food runs out, or until the animals finally destroy the colony. Just survive until we can vote out Mars. I don't want my time as governor to be about survival. She gestures to you to come look out the window at the bustle of the colony below. I just wanted to thank you for everything you did to get me here, she says seriously. Far below, you watch the team gearing up to head out to the expedition. There's construction happening in the next phase of the residential units. A group of toddlers, the first children born on Ventura, across the colony square like a herd of hot by. I forgot we got to have babies. Everywhere you see the bustle of a thriving, healthy colony. It's all mine now, she says. Instead of sounding boastful, she seems scared of the prospect. She takes your hand without turning to look at you, her eyes still strained on her kingdom. Can I trust you to help me? She asks. I need people around me who believe in me, but will still tell me if I'm making the wrong choice. I'd do anything for you, Mars. Oh, hot damn. Feels a little forward since she and I were not even friends before this. And I didn't even have the guts to get A money. Plus, I think we're romancing Cal. Has that happened? Is that what's happening? I don't know. I love him so much. I think he's my best friend. Yeah, I have a 77 out of 100 with him. I will have to romance Marzipan, though, at some point. Are they poly friendly in this game? Can I romance more than one person? 'You'll just have to find out, huh? God damn it. I can't. I'm a chicken. I can't. We're not brave. She squeezes your hand. Thank you, Solana, she says. I'm glad I have you. Ooh. Is this just going to be the playthrough where I thirst after every single one of my friends, but none of them kiss me? Because I'm a chicken. You and Mars watch the colony a little while longer until Mars's holopalm buzzes and she sighs. Well, duty calls. Thank you again for all your help, she adds as you excuse yourself. You'll always have a friend in high places. Ugh, she's so pretty. I could die. You spot Cal almost asleep on his feet, propped up on a rake. As you approach, he snaps to attention. Whoa, ho, hey, Solana, he says, rubbing his eyes with his forearm. Just casting some shut-eye. Keeping the colony fed is a full-time job. And then some. Alright, I think I'm going to increase my organizing again, because why the fuck not? Can't believe we just lost Dis. I'm going to go look for him, actually. Eight events remaining. Oh, wait. Oh, both of my pets get to follow me around? What the fuck? That's crazy pants. Look at them. Oh my god. Googly and squish! I spent an entire run every single available flirting option. Nice. I did that in Dragon Age too. Flirted every time. Oh my god, look at my babies. I love them. Oh my god, I love them so much. Let's give this boy some wood. You find Rex sitting in a bowl of one of the unfinished buildings, taking a hit off a rolled cigarette that smells powerfully skunky. He jumps a little when he sees you before relaxing. Oh, it's only you, Solana, he says, waving the cloud of fumes and making you a squinty-eyed smile. Don't mind me, I'm just testing some of the latest crops for quality assurance. Rex shoots you a shy smile. Nothing a dog likes more than a stick, right? I forgot that that was his reply. Yeah, let's go surveying. Let's see if we can fucking find this. An enemy said he was out there in the plains, right? Oh, shit. What's she doing out here? When you report for surveying, Nami Nami is here and the first day as a surveyor. They smile widely and they see you, smiling exuberantly. Oh, you two know each other already, Utopia says? Good, that'll make things easier. Solana, I'd like you to keep an eye on Nami while you're out there. Oops, fucked up. Utopia continues, I'm going to assign you the same regions for the next little while, just to make sure that they don't wander in a nest of snap bladders, okay? Hooray! Utopia explains to Nami Nami and some other new surveyors the surveying tools. Nomi starts to get bored and wanders a little ways from the group. You see it happening, but are powerless to stop them from tripping and nearly landing into a nest of hot-by eggs. They're just about to crash into the delicate spun-glass cocoon when Utopia materializes out of nowhere and scruffs them by the back of the collar. Nomi, pay attention! Nomi giggles like they don't even realize the danger of being stampeded by the upset hot-bys beginning to gather around. Utopia ushers them back to the group before things get a little tramply. Nami asks a million questions about the eggs. Are they edible? Do they have hard shells or soft? What's the cocoon made out of? How long do they hatch? Utopia sighs. Just get out there, you two, before the little vermins turn ugly. You report to the expedition's tent to find not just Utopia, but Security Chief Rat and Vase as well. I can't spare any more of my people, Utopia is explaining to them. You've already pulled almost all of the foragers, and we're already running scant crews of the ridges as it is. There's not one person you can spare? Rhett replies, turning to face you. Solana, how'd you like to transfer to one of the hunting parties? Utopia tells me you're one of her best explorers. We could use someone like you. I need someone who can keep up with this one. Vase puffs out his chest proudly. Why do we need to kill them? Vase laughs. What a dick. Because they're killing us, Solana. Keep up. He clenches his fist. It's like the classic struggle between humanity and nature. Nature's not all flowers and rainbows on Earth. Everything and everyone was trying to kill each other. For survival, for food, hell, even just for fun. Yeah, I know what camp you're in, you little douche. Can't wait to bag a real trophy Xeno, he chuckles, framing his hands like a painting on a wall. First 10 points. Buck on Vertuna. I don't want to kill animals for fun. Rhett scowls at Vase. You won't be killing them for fun. You'll be killing them to defend the colony. Vase rolls his eyes. I'm not going hunting. I've already killed one and it sucked. I will never kill another living creature. Face scoffs. Even if it was trying to kill you, I knew you Strato kids were soft. I didn't know you were suicidal too. Not everyone's cut out for a life or death situation, Rhett says and turns to you. You know, Solana, it's not all killing, he continues. Sometimes it's about tracking and identifying dangerous creatures before they reach our walls. You wouldn't necessarily have to kill them. Yeah, that's what you said to fucking Cal. He holds up his hand, but you don't have to decide just yet. Talk to Utopia later if you change your mind. I mean, if I am out there, I could maybe stop Vase from killing them. Looking for dis. The fuck is that? You're surveying some weird algae bloom when it starts to get dark. You pack up for the day and begin to head back to the base, and you see a cloud of Dorbs moths fluttering overhead. Them, the same villains that keep eating your crops. You decide to follow them. You creep silently to the Dorbs moths. You don't seem afraid of you or anything at all. The Dorbs moth eventually converge to a clearing where hundreds of them rest against the stalks of giant fungal trees. The sound of their wings rubbing against each other is like music. The entire clearing glimmers with dust. It's so pretty you stand there and watch for a few minutes. But suddenly, the peace of the clearing is broken by a squeaking and a chaos of flapping wings. A Dorbs moth all explode from their perches, sending clouds of choking dust into the air. Through the dust, you see a Dorbs moth locked in a vicious battle with a small creature. It's over quickly, and you watch the creature cling to the Dorbs moth's back as it feels around, until it climbs up and rips out the Dorbs moth's throat with its tiny, vicious teeth. More squeaking fills the clearing. From the trees, descending an entire family of the things, they set upon the corpse of the Dorbs moth like a kingly buffet. They hop around and hiss at each other, popping up like popcorn. The sound is incredible, like the screeching of a chair across a floor. The rest of the Dorbs moth have completely vanished. The cries of the tiny hunters must have scared them off. They're so pretty. Horrible little predator, you. God, he's so cute. You whip open your holopalm and record their squeaking and chittering as they devour the meal. Gross. If you play this, it's bound to scare the Dorbs moth away from the fields too. You don't think you would have believed it if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes. The little things, you decide to call them bounce weasels, are 1/5 the size of the Dorbs moth. They're even more cute than the moths. You're pretty involved in recording the bounce weasels, so you don't notice another family of them moving into position overhead until it's too late. Like the Dorbs moth, you have the audacity to stand still for too long in their territory. They yelp as you're pelted with a hail of sharp-toothed creatures. Oh no. You cover your head and neck, and the bounce weasels will bounce off of you. Some of them cling to your jacket, nipping holes into it, but they can't get their teeth into you. They bounce away into the forest, chittering in anger. You can't wait to show Cal the battle of cute versus cute. This planet is pretty cool. Ugh, Cal's gonna hate it. I wish I'd have picked the other option. Oh, Nami. You hear Nami shouting for help. You sprint to the sound of the distress. Nomi seems to have fallen headfirst into some kind of Nomi-sized flower. Is it eating them? It's engulfed Nomi's upper torso, its petals pulsing as it pulls them down further. You could use the platinum cutter to cut them out of there if you figure out which part of the creature without to cut hurting Nomi. Nomi struggles and you hear the muffled sound of distress. You have to try. You delicately slice the lyre flower at the underside of the base of the flower, which you guess is the creature's neck. Up close, it actually looks more reptilian than plant-like, just a thick nick, and the creature coughs and convulses. Nomi spills forth in a flood of digestive juices. Ew, 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 yuck, my outfit. Stupid flower. Nomi stops and shakes their fist at the flower, which lurches away on a fat, snake-like body. No dis. Darn it. You spot an enormous, unfamiliar flower, large, waxy petals joined to form a basin brimming with goopy yellow gunk. The entire thing has a sickly, melting look. The awful smell of juice permeates the area. It's like something died in there. You wait and watch it. One of the nearby bushes starts rustling. Oh, another bush bub. It approaches the plant and dips an arm into it, bringing its face and licking it. Then it sticks its head right in there and drinks. You try not to gag. Blech. After some long, deep gulps, the bush bub wanders away looking slightly tipsy. Put your hand in there and feel around. You tentatively slip your hand a little ways and feel around. Suddenly the plant contracts and it sucks on your arm up to the elbow. You panic, expecting the sting of digestive juices, but it's just warm. Gross, but oddly pleasant. There seems to be nothing else in there. You plant your feet on either side of the flower and pull your arm out in a mighty slurp. Your hand smells awful, and it feels tingly, kind of stronger. All your noise attracts a nearby bush bub, and it's scurrying out of the bush and cackling at you. Slurp! The funny creature rears up and stomps the ground intimidatingly, but reading its body language, you realize it's trying to move away from the big flower. You back away slowly, talking softly to it. Good bush bub. You keep your gross stink flower. It's all yours, buddy. At the edge of one of the circular ponds, something sparkling catches your eye. Well, everything around here sparkles, but this is really catching your eye. The water in the little lake is deep and milky, though. You can't see the bottom. It's completely still, almost too still, perfectly circular. You remember you've been warned about getting too close to these pools. Wait and observe the water. You stand perfectly still, milky water for several minutes. You think you might see something moving in its depths and shift to get a better view, but nothing. It's just the reflection of a cloud. When you feel ready to approach, you look for the sparkling object again and can't find it. Was it just sunlight? Oh well. The terrain here is strange, some kind of smooth rock covered in lichens and tiny plants. It's weirdly warm and the spark snow smelts. When it hits it. After cautiously walking around for a few minutes and observing quietly, you realize the ground is alive. It's rumbling slightly. What you thought was just a rocky slopey opens. It's an eye. It stares at you dreamily, and you stare back fascinated. This must be a very ancient creature. It's so vast, it's completely merged with the surroundings. There are even trees growing out of it. A little animal like a moth with huge webbed feet lands between you and the massive eye and starts preening. The eye dilates to focus on the moth and then slowly closes again with what you think might be contentment. After a minute, you feel a faint rumble in your feet, regular breathing, in and out, snoring. You creep off the creature, careful not to wake it again. Whoa. I wonder if that's how big Socks is gonna get. Sad we haven't found Dis. Time to go home. That music is new and somehow creepy. You play with your Hopeye Googly while you wait to hang out in the gardens. They're pretty well behaved, never straying too far from the underbrush and always coming back when you call their name. Another Hopeye shyly approaches from the long grass. Your Hopeye goes totally still, then lets out a happy chitter and bounces off to greet the stranger. They touch noses and hop around each other twice. They disappear for a few minutes into the underbrush, long enough that you begin to get concerned. Finally, Googly bounces back to you and nuzzles against your leg. They want to be picked up and cuddled, and so you pop them underneath your shirt and carry them like a baby the rest of the day. Aww. Cal just waving at me. Oh, look at how close I am to maxing out my toughness. need 10 more. 3, 6, 9. It's not gonna be enough. Unless I happen to get an extra one during things. In the wet season, you need to dig out the rice paddies. You put on mud waters and that are way too big for you and stumble into the soggy muck with Cal. Cal starts nerding out about the mud as he goes. The ground is so soggy because the lower gravity means the water takes longer to seep down, he explains, pulling a big clod of mud out of the ground and slopping it into the hoverlift. At least when it's raining, you don't have to use the wheelbarrows. Everything is so swampy and warm on Vertuna, not like the dry, recycled air of the stratospheric. The wet ground makes the roots from our earth plants rot easier, so we need a ton of mush tree mulch for this kind of fluffy lava rock kind of thing. He stops and rubs his face, smearing the mud across his cheek. Maybe we can do that next, like smashing it up into tiny bits with a hammer. It's nice to be outside with Cal. Tropical rain is never too cold, and Cal is great company. Just think about all the cool stuff that's out here, Cal exclaims. Who else gets to shape the planet and provide food for the colony? No one, that's who. It's just a job for the best. Ugh, he's so precious. He's so much like my mom. He keeps on digging and nattering on about cool bugs he finds in the mud. You goof off a little and have fun. Your antics eventually lead you to slipping, and suddenly you're up to your armpits in the mud and laughing as it oozes on your oversized waders. Mim. Oh, so close. You're shooting the breeze with Cal in the shadow of the geophonics dome, and he leans over and waves at someone over your shoulder. Perk, hey, over here. Perk jogs over to you. He's a heavy-set adult with tattoos sprawling up his arms that make him look like he's made of marble. He holds out a stack of tiffins wrapped in a sash. Hey, you two. Steph and I were just teasing out the recipes, and we ended up making too much. Figured I'd run some lunch over to you. Cal takes a sniff and opens the first one. Lentil dough? He exclaims, inhaling deeply. No way. Perk looks around. Rice in the second one and a little something sweet in the third. You deserve it with how hard you work out here. You eat up too, Solana. There's more than enough. Perk lets you to divide the spoils, and Cal goes right to dessert. Having 4 parents is the best, he mumbles, around a mouthful of sour sweet cake. Cal's mom, Auntie Tira, is in a relationship with 3 other colonists. Perk's the newest member of his family, but even then, they've all been together for a while. Cal's been surrounded by a lot of love at home. He's just the best. Cal swallows his food. You know, sometimes I wonder if I'd want to date that many people, like my mom does, he muses. Like finding one person who wants to date you and having the courage to ask them out is already hard enough. Bruh, my palms are sweating just thinking about it. Besides, Cal continues, it works fine for my mom, but I kind of feel like if I find someone, I just want to be with them, you know? I want to put all my energy into making them feel happy. This is it. It's happening. We're gonna kiss Cal. We're gonna try to kiss Cal. We're gonna hit on Cal. Are you guys ready? It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Cal loves us. He might love us back. You got this. I've only been daydreaming about this for 3 years. He's got a cheek full of cake. Oh, God. It's so perfect. Okay. You already make me happy. Cal's eyes go wide, and he rubs the back of his neck. I didn't mean that, but I didn't not mean it either. He giggles and looks away, unable to meet your eye. The dale is sweet and fragrant and tastes all the better for being made and delivered with love. You and Cal eat your fill before Cal excuses himself to go back to work. All right. We put ourselves out there, and it was awkward, and Cal hated it, but we're going to be okay. Nothing bad happened. Ah! Okay. All right. Let's see if we can max out our toughness. It's not always shoveling. Sometimes you get to control the huge robotic vehicle that's been fitted with a plow. The robo-plow is massive and intimidating and can easily grind through rocks or even trees. But the colony only has one, so you have to be very careful when you give it instructions. You're tasked with taking a bunch of rocks out to the field and given the robo-plow to do it. Cal loads its software up on the holopalm, and there's a lot going on there. All the digital gauges and a long list of possible subroutes with parameters to enter. Solana, he says, nervous, poking at the interface. Do you want to try doing this? Aw, he doesn't do computers. Easy peasy. You give the dimensions of the fields you're plowing and the desired depth to add the subroute to the rock removal, indicating the general size of the rocks. The machine whirs and adjusts its digging tools and sets to work. You get the field cleared in record time, and you and Cal enjoy a half day off. Too bad we don't get to spend it smooching. Yes! What's my new perk? Never receive an injury status effect when hurt. Lame. I needed that like 5 years ago. Alright, we have one more month. Okay, so delivering supplies is +2 organizing. 9 kudos. We're not really using kudos. Zeke looks completely swamped when you report to work. Solana, finally, they snap, though they're not even late. I need you to take care of these deliveries. There's too many. You grumble and bring forth the manifest on your holopalm. What? There's no route planned, and some of these are time sensitive? Most of them will take multiple trips, too. A few of them are alive. It's a total mess. Zeke ignores your grumbling. It's your job to deliver these supplies, not mine. Quickly! There are more deliveries coming out of the nanopredator everywhere. Oh my god, I'm so glad that they're not mayor. They fucking piss me off. Woohoo! We did it! Victorious! Oh my god, that might be our last thing. You, you. The dog is having a very intense dream. You don't know how you manage it, but you do. Every delivery on time, and no spoilage or waste. You've planned the most efficient route, too. Seek is impressed. Well, as impressed as they ever are. But they give you a small bonus, a really small bonus. Ooh, increased rewards for delivering supplies. The last month of the game. It is the late wet, and now the glow. Cal is hiding in the shed, trying to calm down Sock. Shush, shush, it's okay, girl. Aww. He says, stroking her little head. I know glow makes you feel weird. It'll be over soon. It'll be okay. He shoots you a brave smile. She always knows when the bad things are going to happen. Makes me worried. Ugh, I didn't get that organizing perk. Damn it. You're delivering lunch to the construction crew, handing out warm tiffins and canteens full of sweet tea. As usual, everyone is happy to see you, some more than others. Solana! Rex exclaims, draping himself over your shoulders. My favorite person in the whole colony. He says that to everyone. He takes a tiffin and cracks it open, giving it a big sniff, his eyes open in pure pleasure. Ooh, this is my favorite. You're the best, Solana. How can I repay you? So the colony in general is open to poly-style relationships. However, Cal prefers monogamy. Last call for smooching. No need. I'm gonna be weird. There's no reason to stop being weird now. You remind Rex that there's no such thing as paying people in the colony, and they all reward you. Need is knowing you've done a great job. Rex gives you a big hug anyway, and the construction crew tells you to please pass on their thanks to the kitchens for the delicious meal. +5 organizing. There it fucking is. Knowing the attack is coming always comes in the glow. Does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle the sheltering in your quarters. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls when you're not working, scanning the tree line for the first signs of trouble. Ugh, Dis isn't even here. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming from the forest, perfectly silent. You watch as the lookouts, as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least thousands. More animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures darting among the legs of... Oh, no. The forest bends as the faceless emerge from its depths, followed by two more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroys your colony. Two faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to handle 3? I'm not brave enough, y'all. You duck your head and rush toward the safety of your quarters. As you run, you notice that the colony is badly defended. As you run, your heart sinks at how poorly organized the colony's defenses are. Luckily, nothing has breached the walls yet, and it seems that the tide of monsters emerging from the trees has slowed. Still, it's a lot of monsters. The colony is taking a beating, and you can already see the defenders start to flag. It's going to be a difficult battle. You're descending from the walls when you're thrown to the ground by a tremendous rumble. A few meters in front of you, something tunnels towards you through the mud. You have the impression of something long and dark that cuts through the ground like a shark through water. You scramble to your feet, but it cuts off your path, forcing you toward a geophonics outbuilding. It's the storage shed, mostly empty besides the bales of hay as float cows feed. It's dimly lit, and you think you see another at the far end of the door. The creature advances, throwing up rocks and chunks of dirt as it tunnels closer. Should we fight it? I don't like killing stuff. Going to avoid it, you dive through the doorway, hoping that tunneling creature wouldn't follow. It stops on the threshold and pokes a long black snout of dirt, snuffling. It sniffs, too. Is that smoke? You look up at the thatched roof and realize the building you're in is on fire. The dry thatch roof quickly ignites and rains flaming debris down on your head, filling the room with toxic smoke. The ashy heat is intense. You feel it rippling the moisture from your lungs with every breath. You rush to the rear door, but the fire moves so fast you're trapped and the roof collapses in front of you. You hear a crackling noise and then just pain and noise like a bell. The world goes dark. This looks familiar. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke, fire. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out. You aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertuna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, and then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend, an enemy. Wait, why can't you remember her name? This is exactly like when we started. She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. You try to stand up, but one of your legs folds uselessly underneath you. It won't hold your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over your shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? From Earth? Wait, hold on. You remember this from another life. It's not a dog. It's a monster. It's about to end your life, and probably A-Money too. She tightens her grip on you. You prepared for this earlier. You've remembered this day for many years. The choking heat of the fire, the dog's creature dead eyes hollow, haunting your dreams. You've prepared for it. Specifically, you've installed an arm freeze trap right where you knew the animal would be standing when it transformed into a towering horror. As it does, you trigger the detonator. The trap sucks inward, drawing the heat from its surroundings. The monster's feet are frozen to the floor as it instantly crystallizes, becoming an ice statue. A-Money doesn't stop to wonder how this happened. She gives the statue a solid kick as it shatters into a million fragments. You emerge from the inferno of the shed, burned and concussed but alive. An enemy smiles. It's good to be alive. You have your wounds tended to in the med bay. Other soldiers in there are much worse shape, but at least the battle is over. This year, the colony was nearly wiped off the planet before the animals were finally repelled. The sawmills and the arable land are torn up, the geophonics domes are shattered yet again. The garrison lost good soldiers, further reducing your already marginal defenses. There will be hard times ahead, and just one more shot this year, another attack, probably even worse than this one. The fight continues. But for now, you're just happy you've survived to live another day. And that day is your birthday. By the time you've recovered, the suns have returned. It's your 20th birthday. You're a fully fledged adult now, though in many ways you already were, and have been for a long time. You and your friends step out and greet the new day, and start the rest of your life on Vertunma. The end. Aw, look how cute we are. Farmer. What the colony really needs are dependable homesteaders like yourself, plowing the fields and gathering the harvest, real salt-of-the-earth types, or whatever you call it when you aren't on Earth. Your life is simple, but your work is critical in providing the colony and preparing the land for future generations. You work under Cal, who is better boss than he wants to admit. A homesteader like you, he understands the importance of a land stewardship too. You make it your life's work to turn this corner of Vertunma into a place where your children can thrive. You provide for the colony. Some of the earth plants, tropical tubers like cassava and yam, finally flourish, but over the years you convert most of your fields to native plants. Your friend Cal grew up and never lost his boyish charm. Oh my god, I forgot how cute Socks is. You guys, look how little she was. Cal soon rises to the role of chief cultivator. The responsibility of feeding the colony is enormous. Cal isn't good with confrontation or pushing people as hard as your mom famously did. On years when drought or pests threaten the food supply, you often see him looking haggard. He deals with a lot of stress and ages him quickly, but his kind nature means he never takes it out on other people or wants them to worry about him. He's a lot like your dad that way. Oh no! He has a string of intense romantic relationships and eventually settles down with one of the gardeners who grew up on heliopause before transferring to geophonics. No. My heart! No! She's as dependable and friendly as he is. Though you get to know her on your weekly family dinners, you're often reminded of an enemy by the way she teases him. Ew! Together they have a tidy little sum of children, and that's the only tidy thing about them. Their children grow up digging in the dirt, eating bugs, nearly getting mauled by farm equipment, and having a great time being kids. Cal dotes on everyone. I want to be her! I'm so mad! Socks just keeps getting bigger, and it seems she might live to be hundreds of years old. She protects the colony and remains loyal to Cal even as the attacks continue. Cal himself never gives up on trying to convince the people to live in harmony with Vertunma. Though his family is his source of strength, he struggles with the violence that's necessary for the colony to survive here. In his 50s, he's killed while defending geophonics during attack. You grieve him deeply for many years. Jesus Christ. Your dad never really recovers from your mom's death. He tries, but his smile just isn't the same. He continues to carry the weight of feeding the colony on his shoulders, ranching and farming and analyzing the new native plants, trying to find better ways for humanity to thrive. The attacks on the colony destroy his progress every year, and the stress ages him prematurely. You watch your father grow weaker under the strain until one day a sudden heart attack claims him in the field. He worked hard every day to see Vertunma flourish, but you have to go on without him. He'll always be with you, Jesus. In the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, and in the cycle of the life that sustains you. Your hopeye is a good companion, but you're no replacement for its own species. When a herd of hopeye roam close enough to the colony, you release it into the wild. A few years later, you're greeted one morning by a whole litter of hopeye kittens outside your door, and Googly proudly showing off to your family. Your Riki grows from the size of a small dog to the size of a bear, becoming more and more unwieldy and more terrifying to small children. Before the council can force you to do something about your arachnid octopus friend, Squish just disappears. You look everywhere in the colony for it, but your answer comes from outside the wall. A new freaky nursery tree. Soon the colony is host to many curious freaky pups who call your squish home. Shit! Ah! Whew. I have too much makeup on to cry. The days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. Life is tough but rewarding. Fortuna continues to challenge you and your loved ones. The attacks continue every year, getting harder and harder to withstand. It's not just that, but the droughts, the earthquakes, the diseases, the storms, the pestilence, and more. Some years you worry about the colony, and humanity will be wiped off the map for good. But humans are good at surviving. The adversity strengthens your resolve. You mourn your dead, celebrate your births, and keep adapting to whatever the planet throws at you. This is your home, for better or for worse. You do what you can to make it a good one. Eventually, death comes to you too, as it does to everyone. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims through your mind's eye. Is that a person? Oh my god, it's us. They seem familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. Her arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving her mouth, not in words, but something like pictures. Still, you understand. She smiles. We had a good life, don't you think? But there are so many possibilities, and this was only one of them. I definitely could have done better. There was a girl. We were young together. Tammy, with the cotton candy hair. Such a shame to see a life snuffed out so young. She gives you a look as if to say you were somehow responsible for this. Wait, were you? Could you have saved her? We have a chance to take another path, to change the way your life turned out. She reaches out her hand. Come with me. I didn't get a kiss, Cal! That was the first time I got the opportunity to flirt with him, though. You must have to have his heart maxed out. Damn it. Should have kissed Mars. Was that your first play? Yes, yes, it was. I made. It took a while for me to figure out the mechanics, I'm going to be really honest. There's no, like, music. This is trippy. Oh, shit, it's like a collectible ending thing. Oh. I got Farmer. And then me grossed out. Cal hiding. Look at all this stuff. Oh, Cal in socks. Falulu. Ooh, some of the backgrounds I didn't get. Dang, there are a lot of cards I didn't get. No spoilies. That's so many cards. What's a Chivo? Petting pets. The Haba is so cute. Oh my god. There are 4 pets? My mind is blown. Look at how much of this. Jesus tits. Every possible you. Oh, these look like the romance options. His little tomato. Ooh, matchmaker. Can I set my friends up? Oh, or break them up? Oh. That looks like Cal and Tammy. It's a coup. No rain today, peace on Vertuna. Dang. Well, that was butts. I can't believe it. Yeah, so it takes about 2 hours to do a year in the game. Well, gosh, now we're gonna have to decide what kind of playthrough we want next. Darn it. Thank you, beta testers. I wonder if there's a stinger or if I literally just have to hit start your new life. I've speed run it in like an hour. Do you just not read them? Reread? Or you speed read it with your eyeballs? Start your next life. Dang it. Oh man. The game was so good. No, it's like I literally tried to go through doing nothing on that run. Oh. Interesting. Gathering data points. Oh. What's the plan for next time? Okay, well, I thought for sure my friendship with Cal was relationship material. But I think I want to, because I got toughness really high early on. I was like super into being a defender until the Helios showed up. So I'll avoid that for now. I'm thinking I probably want to hang out with oh god, Tangent sucks. I did not enjoy her. I mean, they all kind of suck a little bit. Because, like, this was supposed to be my best friend, and he blew chunks. I think maybe I'll hang out with Mars. Because I basically avoided her this entire game. just like, you got farmhand zoned. Yeah. I was probably one of the relationships that he had, one of the intense relationships that just didn't work out. You know what I mean? It could have been because I didn't. I thought Anemone and I did the sex talk with her mom. Maybe we didn't. I think maybe my choice that you made then probably impacts who will romance you later in life too. Because there was not, I think I made the choice to have no children, and so there was no mention of me having children in that playthrough, like at all. Which is pretty intense. Like when you're fucking 13, you have to decide the end of your character's life. My headcanon is that he flirts with people to get them to work on the farm. I don't know. Cal isn't really flirty. He wasn't. He was just hot, really. He's really sweet. Yeah, I think I'll hang out with Mars. I basically ignored the beginning of the colony at that time. And also, I'm kind of like annoyed that my previous. Only to flex. That I wasn't. That I was apparently the cause of Tammy's death. Like, I was her friend. Maybe it's because I encouraged her to stay inside rather than come out and be around all of us. I don't know. I'm going to start my new life to get the achievement, at least, and then save it so we have something to do next week. Oh no. Yeah, we'll save it for next time. Oh gosh. I mean, it is late. Oh my god, I didn't even notice. I'm having so much fun. It's like, oh, it's almost midnight. I guess we have been streaming for 2 hours. A second playthrough definitely changes your perspective. Yeah, there was a lot I didn't realize in the beginning of the game. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be a little rebel this next time. I want to be brave and hang out with Marzipan and her hot dads. Well, I'm so glad you guys hung out and watched me go through this game. And Max, I'm so glad that you recommended it. Like, when you were describing it to me, I was like, that's up my alley, but I wasn't sold until you linked it to me. And here we are. We'll never go back. But thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll start a new one next week. I'm already excited. I'm gonna have to like drink some sleepy time tea. And now, such an emotional roller coaster to ride all of the time. Yeah, but at least some of the things that I know are coming, I can like emotionally prepare myself. Have a good night. I am definitely a crier though, like a preemptive crier. Like if I've seen something that I know that makes me cry, I start crying early. Like movies that I've seen hundreds and hundreds of times. Like we rewatched Lord of the Rings recently, and I immediately started crying, like when Sam and Merry and Pippin try to rescue Frodo from Aragorn in the Prancing Pony. It just like immediately burst into tears. I was like, they're so brave. 20 years. I've watched that movie like over and over and over again. And Ugh. So that'll just be prepared that like every time we play this game, I'm probably gonna cry even harder than I did the first time because I know some things are coming and I like emotionally start up the waterworks. Now I can change some of those choices. Yeah, if I remember them, I'm gonna have to rewatch my own stream just so I don't look like an idiot and pick the same choices. Like, uh, oh well. See, I guess we gotta be done. My horns are coming off. Oh, my friends, thank you so much. And if you have any advice, um, on a playthrough that you really really liked, go ahead and tweet me. Uh, and let me know like if there was a particular skill that you really thought added a lot to the game or a particular enhancement early on in the game. Uh, and I will take those under advisement for our next playthrough. Belated happy Halloween, everyone, and do enjoy the evening, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah!